You push yourself to the absolute limit. You wake up the next morning so stiff you can barely walk down the stairs. It feels like progress. We've been told for decades that this deep, lingering pain means you've successfully torn your muscle fibers, and right now they are busy growing back bigger and stronger. A 2025 McMaster University review confirmed muscle tissue doesn't actually need tearing to grow. It just needs loading. Mechanical tension is the primary driver of hypertrophy, not cellular damage. Think about marathon runners. Their legs are completely destroyed for a solid week after a race. The inflammation is off the charts, but they don't come back from that recovery with bigger legs. The soreness you're chasing is just your body cleaning up the inflammation. You don't build muscle at the gym, you break it there. The actual building happens on a strict 48-hour biological clock while you're sitting at your desk or sleeping. And right now, you are probably screwing up the most important part of that window. Let's look at minute 0, right in the middle of a set. This downward stretch is where you're leaving the most potential on the table. This downward motion is called the eccentric phase, when the muscle is lengthening while still under a heavy load. Your muscles can actually handle about 40% more force on the way down than they can on the way up. Most people treat this lowering phase like a quick commute between the reps that actually count. They drop down fast and pull up hard. But by slowing that descent down to a strict 3-second minimum, you maximize the physical tension the muscle fiber senses. This diagram shows what happens during that slow, heavy stretch. The lengthening fiber generates a massive wave of mechanical tension, physically triggering a molecular signal called mTORC1. That glowing node is the exact biological command telling your body to start building new protein. But there's a serious bottleneck here. The command just fired, but it needs raw materials to execute the order. Studies show people consistently underestimate their daily food intake by up to 50%. You think you're eating enough protein, but often the signal is hitting an empty void. You basically paid for a construction crew and forgot to order the bricks. Firing that molecular command to grow is useless if you don't accurately track and deliver the specific materials your body needs to follow through. Fast forward 24 hours after you leave the gym. You're asleep, and muscle protein synthesis, the physical construction of new tissue, is hitting its absolute peak. Look at this chart tracking muscle protein synthesis over 48 hours. If you sleep poorly for just one single night, that peak drops by 18%. And if that sleep debt accumulates, the hormonal cost is brutal. 1 week of sleeping just 5 hours a night drops your testosterone by 10 to 15%. That is the exact same biological decline you would expect from aging a full decade, compressed into 7 days. The impact is even clearer in a controlled study, where 2 groups ate the exact same diet in a calorie deficit. The only difference was sleep. The group sleeping less lost 60% more muscle and 55% less fat. Same food, entirely different results. While protein provides the raw physical materials for your muscles, sleep provides the mandatory environment for assembly. If you fail at sleep, you mathematically ruin the entire 48-hour recovery equation. By the time you hit hour 48, the window closes. Muscle protein synthesis drops back to baseline. The biological building phase is officially over. This strict timeline exposes a massive flaw in how most people train, specifically the traditional routine where you hammer a single muscle group just once a week. Here's what that looks like on a calendar. If you train your back on Monday, those muscles are actively growing for 2 days. Then they just sit there, completely idle and wasted for the next 5. You might still feel incredibly sore on Thursday, but that soreness is just your body finishing up the biological cleanup. The construction crew already packed up and went home. Training each muscle group twice a week doubles your active growth time. This simple scheduling shift moves you from 2 active building days per week to 4. These gains require a constant increase in tension. Repeating the same bodyweight pull-ups forever eventually leads to maintenance. You must add weighted vests or force even slower eccentric drops to keep the signal active. Stop evaluating your workouts by how much it hurts to walk the next day. Maximize the tension on the way down. Supply the precise amount of protein your body requires. Protect your sleep, and then get out of your body's way.